Hello everyone. I think we need to wait additional 1 or 2 minutes because I see that there are no many people like tomorrow, and after 2 minutes we will start. So I think we can start. Good day, good morning for everyone. I'm glad that we have many people in our Zoom meeting, and I hope that everyone can get more new information about our skill, about technologies that we use in our skill. And today, the second day of our meeting, and as I told yesterday, for today we got many interesting things about optimization of our skill, about version control systems, and of course some master classes with the coding in iOS and Android. And so you can see today's plan. First of all, we want to show you additional coding examples from Lydia. She will show you how to store some information and make some additional things in both platforms. And after it, I will introduce you to technologies that we use for our skill, for saving information, for getting information and test project results from competitors, how we test them all, and etc. We will talk about version control system, for example, Git. We use it, of course, and for example, in Kazan 19 and in other competitions, we use it because it's very useful and give us many features for assessed competitors. I will show you how to use it with, for example, Android Studio, and I hope it will be interesting for you. And for today, our colleague Sergey prepared some information about optimization systems in our skill that he used in Russia, and he will talk about auto tests with continuous integration using Jenkins and other services. So if you have some questions, you can write them in a chat, in our Telegram chat, and of course we will answer you. If during our speech you don't understand something, maybe because our bad English or because some hard information, you can write in the chat and ask to repeat this information, and of course we will help you with it. So next one, Lydia, are you here?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, now I want to give your screens to Lydia with her cats and examples, and I hope it will be interesting, and then I will be back. So Lydia, just a second.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Do you see my screen?
Yeah.
Great. Today I want to show you another way how to create a UI interface in iOS application. Let me show you the Swift UI. So I open Xcode and create new project on this screen. I select app and here I input some name for my application. Feed the cat Swift UI, for example. And here I select interface Swift UI. This is another approach how to create UI in iOS application. It's very close to Flutter or React Native because it's a declarative UI. We call this approach. It means that we use only code to create some user interface components, and we can add some loops or some if in this code, and everything will be in one file, for example. And here we have another structure. We have a content view with a body, and here I should to add my user interface component. And now I can see the preview for my application, and I can add some user interface components here. So let me start. First of all, here I have the layout, and I want to add the first line, satiety with value with bold font. It means that it's necessary to create a horizontal stack. It's special component for it's some kind of container, and I can add a lot of elements inside it. For example, now I have text hello world in this container, but I need, with some padding, but I need two labels here. When we use Swift UI, we have another components. For example, to show some text, we have the component text. And here I want to add another string, satiety. Then I want to add text with my value of satiety. And to add it, I want to add a special state variable. This keyword state means that when this variable will be changed by me or by system or by user, this content view will be redrawn by system. So var satiety with integer and 0 default value. And here I want to use this variable we need some time to refresh the preview. And I have some troubles here.
Try to add satiety without brackets, just text and satiety. Убери эти кавычки полностью.
I don't agree with you.
Yeah. Okay.
No. It's just I have a slow computer. It should work. Okay. So I have. Well, yeah. Look at it. Look at this.
It's Xcode because of that I hate Xcode.
I don't agree with you. I like Xcode very much. So I want to change font for my text. Especially, I want to change font weight because it's necessary to have a bold font here, and I think it's good. But our text here in this layout should be in the right side of my screen. And it means that it's necessary to add special component, spacer. Spacer is just a free space on the screen. And now I have this two text on the right side of my screen. But I want to add some padding to this component. For example, I can add it here with this menu. And it should be equals to 24. Okay, now I want to add this cat, and it means that it's necessary to embed this stack into another container. Vertical stack. So after this text field, we have some space, then image, the space again, and button. Let me add this into my vertical stack. Then spacer, then image, and I want to add this image into my project. As in project with UIKit, I just open this file assets and add my picture here. So I have the picture with cat, and I want to add color to my project. In iOS, we can work with colors as with resources. Here I can create color set, red button, and this is my panel. I copy and paste this color. So I return to content view, and here I can use my image. As far as I remember, it named cat, so I can input just cat name here, then spacer, then button with text feed. And I want to try again. This system is very slow. I mean, Xcode with Swift UI. And you can notice that this Swift UI system give us advantage in speed of programming, but we have a lot of problems, sorry, with create preview. So button, then is necessary to add code which will be executed when user will press on this button. And I want to see the preview. Here I have a button on the bottom of the screen, this text, and now I have some problems with image, but I can try to run it on a simulator because this preview is very slow. Oh, it's necessary to wait a little, as usual, in iOS development. I recommended you to use MacBook Pro with more than 16 gigabyte of memory. Yes, here I have the cat, the text, and the button. But it's necessary to set up the behavior of these elements. First of all, I need to add this navigation bar. And to add it, I just use navigation view component and I can add navigation title with text feed the cat. And wait a little. On some old computers, this preview does not work, and it's very sad. So I want to change my button and change the color of background, color of text, and add corner radius. How to do it? First of all, I need to set up the frame of this button because I have another size of this button, and I want to add width, height, but I don't need alignment, and so I remove it. Then I want to change background. Here I use color from my resources, from my assets. I don't remember the name. Red button. So background, then color of text, it's foreground color, and it's white. Then corner radius, it equals to 8. And as far as I remember, this button has some padding. Yes, 15. In bottom. Oh, we had the kitten, we have the button, and this text view. But we have some problems with navigation title. I think it's necessary to run it on simulator. Because I add this navigation title not on right level of my view hierarchy. Oh, look, we have feed the cat navigation item. We had all texts, this image, and button feed. But I want to change the level of satiety of my cat when I press on this button. How to do it? I have this piece of code, and here I can change my satiety. Satiety plus 5. I can run it. Look, it works. I think it's a great system. It's very useful because I have the state for my UI here. And when I change this value from some place, all of these views will be refreshed. And I had this. But this is a Swift UI, and I think it's a great system, but it has a lot of problems with support on the old version of iOS. For example, 13, 20. But if you create application for 17 iOS version, you can use it, and it will be very useful for you. But now we have this application, and if I press on this button, I will have some satiety. But if I will reopen this application, my satiety will be 0. I want to save my satiety in memory of this device, of this simulator, of course, because it's very often case on our competition when it's necessary to save something in the memory of device. And I want to show you the most simple way how to save something in memory. It's user defaults for iOS and shared preferences for Android. And first of all, let me add the saving of this information in memory here in this project with Swift UI.
Lydia?
What?
Sorry, can I add something about Swift UI?
Of course.
Yeah, Lydia showed Swift UI because we wanted to show that developing an UI user interface is very fast. And if the developer knows the names of user controls, knows the elements like a vertical stack, horizontal stack, and etc., this screen can be created by 1 or 2 minutes. And I think it's very fast. And it's easy because you don't need to use your mouse for moving elements, for adding constraints, and etc. You just adding the spacers, paddings, and etc. And because of that, the user interface development is very fast. And as you know, in our skill and in world skills, the time is very important for competitors, because if you're saving the time in these simple tasks like creating 2 buttons, you can spend the time for more hard feature, or you can spend the time for solving some issues, and I think it's very good. But of course, like Lydia said, that there are problems with Swift UI and with preview in old Macs, because it needs a lot of memory, and because of that, for example, in my Mac, I don't use. Oh, you don't have a bad Mac, I see.
Yes, but I have problems.
So in my Mac, it's more worse. So, but in modern Macs with a normal processor, of course, it's more faster and easier.
Normal processor, do you mean M1?
Maybe I didn't test it
Okay.
yet, but I hope that in the near future I will get it and test.
Okay.
So sorry for disturbing. So
I want to add the saving of information about satiety level of my cat into memory of my device. How to do it? I have the special, not only I, but everyone have the special class in iOS user defaults. It's a key value storage, and it's very simple to use it. I just call user defaults dot standard, and here I have a lot of methods to get some values from storage by k, by string k, and I want to get some integer for some k. For example, I want to use string satiety as usual. Here I read value from my memory, and if we have not this value with this key in memory, this method will return us 0. We can read it in documentation. Then if I read something, it's necessary to save something. And for example, here, when I change satiety level, I can call user defaults standard. And here we have a lot of methods: set, value, satiety, for k, the same k. Satiety. And let me show you. I feed my cat. For example, here I have 40 level of satiety. Then I reopen my application. And here I have the same level. This value was saved in memory of my device, and it was read from this memory, and here we have the correct value. I change it again, 70, for example. Rerun my application. Very interesting. Maybe I'm too fast. Great.
Did you load this value or just save? I can see the loading. Oh, sorry.
I loaded.
I missed it. Yeah.
Maybe
maybe we need commit.
Not in this operation system. Commit is for shared preferences on Android.
Yeah. Do you have same strings for
65.
keys? Oh.
I just press on buttons very fast. It's too fast for my computer and for this simulator. So here we save this information in project with Swift UI. Let me show you how to do it on the project with UI kit. We can use the same instruments. I open my feed the cat project, yesterday project, and here I have view controller, and I can use the same class, user defaults. For example, here, when I change satiety level, I can save it in the same way. Defaults, of course. Set. Satiety. Integer. 4K. And is necessary to read this value. For example, here, when we will get a reference to our satiety label, we can add the information to it. I prefer to use property observers. And here, satiety label.text, I can add string, and here user defaults dot standard dot integer for k satiety. Of course, it's better to use some constants to save this value, but I just want to show you how to save it. I hope that's all. I have a lot of applications with the same name. Swift UI. Let me clean my simulator. Here I have feed the cat with 0. I feed it 15. Then I want to restart my application. 5. 25 now. I can restart it now. 25. It works if I will not press on button very fast. This system is for iOS. It's the same for Swift UI and for UIKit. And then I want to show you how to save something on Android. Of course, it's better to use some databases if you have a lot of data with some complex structure. But here on iOS, we have core data. And to tell you the truth, I don't recommend to use it on competition because it's very, it takes a lot of time to work with it. Usually, I recommend to use something like some another databases from third-party libraries, or just save all information in user defaults. So let me open Android Studio. Yesterday project, feed the cat. I want to close Xcode because it takes a lot of memory.
And but now you can use Xcode Cloud. if you see
yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
Because now with these two IDE, my computer tried to fly away from me. So here I have my feed the cat. And I want to save information about feed level. Let me check that everything works. Yes, I have cat, I have feed level, I can increase this level, but if I will restart my application, this level will be 0, and I want to save it. As in iOS, when I change the value of my satiety, I can save this new value into memory. And here I have the special class, shared preferences. I can get it. Here is necessary to add the name of storage. It will be an XML file in memory of your device. And the name can be something like cat memory, for example. Then it's necessary to add mode. I want to use mode private because only my application should have access to this information. Because I want to add some information to this shared preferences, is necessary to use special object editor. Get shared preferences, edit. This editor has a lot of method to put something into memory. For example, boolean, float, long, and a lot of another. But here I want to put integer. And I put here value +5. Of course, first of all, we need a key for this. And then new value. The shared preferences is key value storage as in iOS and work in the same way. So put int, and then is necessary to commit but not commit apply, because we need to apply our changes to shared preferences. Here I save my information into shared preferences, and I want to read it when I open my application. For example, here on method on create, if you don't know, this is the method of life cycle of activity in Android. You can read it in documentation. And here I can download information from shared preferences. Get shared preferences. The same parameters. And I can use method getInt with it's better to copy and paste, with my key satiety. And here I should add default value 0. This is default value if we run our application in the first time, and in our shared preferences we have not the value with this key. And we can use this value and set up our text view. Binding satiety text view, text value to string. So I have a cat with 0 level. I increase it to 40, for example, and rerun my application. And I have 40. Shared preferences works faster than user defaults, as you can see. I can increase it to 60, for example, and here I have 60. In Android, with this way, we can save all information. But if you have some complex data, you can use SQLite database, which we have in Android and in iOS. But I recommend to use Room library, for example, to work with SQLite database, because it's very fast, it's very simple, and it's very useful, I hope. So I told about storage information, but usually I recommend it to save everything with shared preferences or user defaults on competition, because we need a lot of time if we try to create database, to set up it, to create all tables and requests to it. Emil?
Yeah, thank you very much. So there are a lot of cats for today, I think.
Maybe. Sorry.
Yeah. No, it's good. So I think we can continue with our technologies. Thank you very much, Lydia. And hope we can see your examples tomorrow too. And so I'm getting screen. Oh, not this one. Where is it? Where's my keynote? So for now, I want to talk about version control systems, about for what we're using it and how to use it. First of all, I want to show you what is a version control system. And so, for example, we've got some programs, some libraries, which developed by many people. For example, you can see 226 contributors who adding some source, adding some codes for some library, for example, LMOfire. It's just an example. And in projects, in big projects, in projects with many contributors, we have a problem that people working on this project together every day, and in the end, we need to combine every source code of every developer to one big project, and version control systems help to do it. For example, if we see where's commits here, if we see a history of changing, we can see what every developer added in the last, for example, working day and etc. As we see that this developer added this string, removed these strings, and etc. And so with version control systems, we can store changes in our source code. It really helps to save backups of our codes. It's one big thing, and it helps to understand what changes was created by another people, etc. And we can see the timeline of changes of our projects, and it's very good because we can see the history, we can see what our developer did in the past, and if we need, we can go back to our commits and restore some data, and it's very helpful too. And in the future, for example, if we need to download not actual version of our project, like this one, yeah, we can download it. For example, download a zip file, and for example, we need to download the previous version. We can just go to commits, find the commit we need. For example, this one. We can go to source code, and then now we in a version that was many times ago, for example, from October 2020, and we can download this code. And for that, we use it in our skill, in our competitions. First of all, we need to have some instrument to we have some instrument to save results of competitors' work and deploy it to experts' computers for testing. So it's a good way for uploading competitors' source code, and then, for example, experts can download actual results and run in experts' computers. It's very useful because, for example, in another skills, experts and competitors also use like FTP servers, shared folders, domains, and etc. But in real life, developers also use version control systems. Next important thing that we've got this history of all changes, and we also can know that competitor created in every session. For example, if we have some problems with understanding, is this feature created in a previous session or later or more early, we can easily open commit information and see what changes and in what time was being created in some file. And it's very useful. And today I want to show you how to use these version control systems. Of course, it's not full tutorial about how to using it. If you need to get more information, you can use a website Git.stm, and for example, here we can find the book, online book Pro Git, and here we can see that it translated to many languages. And in that book we have many pictures. It's very interesting, and it helps better understand how it works. And if you want to get more information about using Git, for example, you can read first 2 sections and get more information. But of course, for today, I want to add some more easily understanding information for a fast start using version control system. And for that, I want to share with you my canvas. Just a second, I need to change my screen. So I will use my iPad for oh yeah, I got it. Oh, mistake. So yeah, can you tell me, can you see my whiteboard and my drawings? Someone? Yeah, okay, great. So I'm not an artist. I'm not good in drawings, but I try to do my best for everything. And so, first of all, we need to know about. We need to get more information about the main sentences, main words, which we will use during the session about version control system. So if you talk about app development, about the programming, we can see our development like a timeline, like this one is, for example, where is another color? This, for example, now, there are the future, yeah, there are the past. While we're creating our application, like we are coding, every time we've got some versions of our application. Or for example, if we're in board skills, there are some sessions, yeah, like session 1, session 2, session 3, and etc. And so during this time, we've got some sessions like session 1, session 2. Oh no, I think it's better like a session 1. There will be session 2, session 3, and etc. And so sometime we've got some changes in our source code, and we need to save it. And these endpoints, like sessions or created features, named like commits. It's commit that, and it stores information about what lines of source code was added or was changed or was deleted, and etc. Like I showed before in with commits in the LMFire library. This one commit. Okay. And this one, it's local changes that created in, for example, my device, in my laptop, in my computer, in etc. But in real life, our development process build not only my local device, but I need to share my code with another developers. Or if we told about work skills, we need to share my code with experts, because experts need to assess my results. And for that, we've got like some server, yeah, it's server, and and in some time I need to send information from my local computer to a server, and in a server and in local we've got some repository. Another word is repository. It's like a folder with my source code, like a folder when we store all files, all resources, and etc. And so here's the local repository, and here's the remote repository. And so in some time we need to transfer my local changes to our server, and another people, like for example Lydia, Sergey, can download them all for next working. So this process, while I'm transferring information from my local repository to server named push, so we're pushing information to our server, and while another people, or me, for example, like this processes named pool, or we've got the same process with some changes like a fetch. So we need to know these names for better understanding the processes I will show you. Okay. Next one. So I need to remove my drawings. Oh, okay. I can add new canvas. So the servers, first, second, and etc. There are my local repository, and in real life, often we've got not one remote server repository. We can go to 1, 2, 3, and etc. Because, for example, one can be used for production, second can be used for continuous integration and for publishing data for testers and etc. And in some times, I need to know for what server I need to push. And for that, every server can have a name, like a first, yeah, like a second, or like any name, like a bird, and etc. But often for the main repository, we used name origin. It means that the main repository with actual code and etc. So in our work, in my demonstration, I used origin name. It means that there will be in the name of our server. because while we're pushing, we need to add the server name, like where we want to push. So, okay. Where's my canvas previous? Okay, I think it's enough for our demonstrating, and now I want to show you how to use it with Android Studio, for example. Of course, for work with version control system, we can use few ways. For example, it's terminal, like adding console commands like git commit, git push, and etc. We've got the functions in our integrated development environment like Android Studio, like Xcode, and etc. They had some buttons, like some interface for working with version control system. And we've got another way. It's special programs for working with version control system, like Atlassian source code, like another programs. I don't use them, and because of that, I don't know the names of them. But there are many types of free, paid, and etc. So we don't need my beautiful drawings. I can use Mac again. So I hope you can see my screen. And for example, I've got my account on the Gitlab server. It's a service that provides us working with version control system. And just for demonstrating, I want to create a repository here in Gitlab. And for example, WSA, for example, this one, yeah, we create repository. As you remember, repository is like a folder for my project. And repositories can be private and public. Private, of course, that nobody can view my source code. Public, they're open for everyone. Like I showed you LMFire project, it's public, so I can see the source code. Yeah, I can go to source, open it. Yeah, you can see it, and etc. So it will be public, for example. And next one, I create my repository or project. And here you can see the comments for terminal that I can use for work with version control system. But for today, I want to show you how to use version control system with some sorry. And for today, I want to use environment for working because it's more easily. So for that, I've got Android Studio, and here we've got version control system menu element, and here I can add enable version control integration. I can select what type of version control system we can use, like a JIT, Merkle, Subversion, etc. For now, we want to use a JIT. Okay. So, and maybe I don't know, but I hope you see that our file main activity and another files now are red. It means that our JIT, our local JIT repository, didn't try to look to the changes in that files. We need to add all our files to our index. So, and after we're adding them in the index, version control system will save these changes like this one. Yeah, now after we adding it in the index, version control system can show what lines in our source code changed, deleted, added, and etc. So for adding them, the easiest way, go to our the root of our project, like to app, press the right button, and in commit in the Git section we can press add, and then maybe you can see that these files are now green. It means that we've got the changes in them. We've got the changes because there are no files before, and now they are. So this one change. So okay, and if you remember, in while I used my canvas with my stylus, I told you that we've got a process like commit, which stores of all changes, for example, during the session. For make this commit, I can go to version control system menu, and we can see the commit here. Or for example, in the right side of our toolbar, we also have the shortcut for commit. So we can see the changes that we've got in our project. This all files was added because there are no files on index before. Then I pressed add, and this all files added. So I can write the message for my commit, like a post commit, and press commit. And because I'm use version control system first time in this computer, Git system asked me to define me, to introduce me. So my name, my email, I will put here the test information. Just it's not important for now, but of course, if you, for example, competitor or developer, you of course put your real names and etc. So here I just put an example. Okay. Next one. There are commits. I committed. So, but if I update my GitLab page, I don't have anything here, because I committed in local repository, like I showed you before. So it's only just on my local computer. So I need to find a way to push my results to this one, to a remote server. For that, we can go to a version control system menu, go to Git, and go to a remote section. And here we can put the plus button, like add new remote. And here you can see the name origin. As I told before, the name can be like something, but of course, by default, it's origin. And now I need to add URL of this repository. I can get it from here, or the better way, it's to find the URL with the .git in the end, this one. So go to Android Studio. Okay, got it. Press OK. Okay, so we go to origin, or if we need to another one repository, we can add it and change it. Okay, so open our page, nothing, because I just added like a link to my remote repository, and now I need to push my results, my commits, to this remote repository. So I can go to version control system menu, go to Git section, and I can find here push element. So open it. And you can see that here we can see the origin. It's our remote server that we added in previous step. So before I pushing, I want to add some changes in my code. Just a second, like add some comment, save it, and again commit it. Additional one commit. So again, I go to push. Yeah, and you can see that Android Studio want to push 2 commits to our origin because I've got 2 commits. First, it's with all files, yeah, and second one, we can see the changes. This is a previous version and this current version, and Android Studio shows that this line was added to my source code. It's very useful and easily for preview what changes you did. And now I want to press a push button. And now I need to write my credentials from Gitlab. Oh, I think I will have problems with, oh no, it's pushed. Oh yes, it's pushed, okay. Try to update my page, and here we can see my source code. Okay, main application, main activity, and you can see we've got it in our version control system. I think it's very easy to use it because I need to press some 3 or 5 buttons, and it's very fast. And I want to show you now how to use version control system from a command line, for example. Just for example, I don't have Android Studio for now, and I want to close it. And for example, I want to add some folder, for example, my project, open it. And if you remember in my beautiful drawings, I showed you that another developers, or for example, experts, wants to download our source code and work with them. So we've got this repository and I want to download it. For that, I need to copy our link, yeah, that was in previous section. Then I want to run terminal. It's like a console, like a command line in Windows. I need to go to my my directory, this one, and I need to clone our project. Okay. For that, I can write the command. I think I need to, yeah. I think it's better now for viewing. Git clone and paste my link for a repository. Press enter. Yeah. So I can go to my folder and I can see my application. Great. So let's open it by Android Studio, for example. I can just move our folder to Android Studio. And for example, we need to wait. Yeah. And let's with the problems. Okay. Just a second. Here building, and we are waiting. Yeah. And for example, if I add some changes in our source code, again, where is it? Here's one. Like remove this one and adding additional source code, and I save it. And for example, I don't want to use Android Studio version control system plugin. I want to use my terminal for committing changes and pushing. So I just can write git status. Yeah, I need to go to my folder before, like, yeah, now git status. And we can see, oh, it's in Russian, sorry, but it's right that we've got changes in that file, and we got this file that not in an index. We don't need them in an index because it's local files like caches and etc. So we need to commit these changes. So we just can write git commit and write some name for our commit, like adding additional line. Be sure that if you don't have many experience using terminal and using Vim, be sure that you write it here, the -m flag, because if you didn't write it, the Vim terminal will be open, and and you can be catched by him because not many people knows how to close Vim. So -m writing. Okay. We need to git add our file. App src main java com example. We can write this full path, or we can just press just add the asterisk or dot to adding all files in our repository. But before it, we don't know that these files will be added to our repository. For that, we can add them all for a gitignore file. Where is it? Why I don't see gitignore? Okay, we can add it. Git add gitignore file. Oh no, sorry. Touch. Wait. Again, mistake. Touch. Yeah. And now we can see that we've got gitignore file, nana, gitignore, and we can add these lines for our file, and then git index will ignore all these files, and these files didn't upload it to version control system. So I can write git status, and I can see that only gitignore and our file in index now. So git add all, and now git commit. And we see that there are two files changed. Two files, it's first, it's main activity and gitignore. And now I can push this all like a git push origin. So because I didn't wrote my credentials in the terminal, I used them only on Android Studio. It asks them again. So go to our repository, and we see commits. Yeah, you can see the commit from a command line, and you see commits, previous commits. And of course, we can go to commits, see everything that we got, and etc. Okay. Maybe you've got the questions. Maybe not. And let's see. Okay. And these instruments we used for our competition.
Way to transfer source code. Oh, sorry, I have a problems with my headphones. Just a second.
Give me a minute. Oh, now I hope you. Yeah. Can you tell me? Yeah, great. Thank you. Yeah, there are some problems with charging my headphones. And so these instruments we use because we need to transfer source code of competitors for experts. And the second main reason of using version control system is that in real life, developers use it. And it's important to teach our students for use it all, because while they're ending colleges or universities, they're going to real companies, and we really need that already students will know how to use version control systems and etc. So I think about version control systems, that's all. I think that we can make some short break for you need to fill up your coffee cups, get cookies and etc. I think we've got continue at 10:30 by Moscow time, and so start little short break and let's continue at this time, and we will wait you. The break time is over. I hope everyone is here and you can listen me and hear me and etc. And in the previous my speech, I forget say you about branches in the version control system. I think it's too interesting, and I want to show it. So I need my canvas again. Just a second. Yeah, you can see it. So if you remember, we've got our timeline with commits and etc. Yeah, like 1, 2, 3, 4. But in real life, while we are working with a big project, we often need instruments to make additional version of our projects, of our source code for trying something. Just for example, we're creating application like Facebook. So we're making commits and etc. And one of developer tried to make some new feature, for example, feature for word skills. And of course, it's not the main feature. It's just like a test. With this feature, just one developer want to work. And the first version of this of solving this issue is to create additional one repository and adding all this source code to this new repository. But for version control system, we've got branches for doing it all. For example, from this commit, we can create additional one line, and then this competitor or developer can add information for this branch, adding these commits, pushing to the remote server, pulling it, and etc. And in one time, when he needs, if this feature is okay and it's ready for a production version, this developer can merge this all source code as new features with the main branch, and it's all will be uploaded to one big project. And here we've got the new branch, and every branch will have a name. The main branch often got a name master branch, and the additional, we can use some names, yeah, like a WS test and example. And one developer or few developers can have many branches, and the version control system can be like a city metro map with many lines, and all branches creates from a commit. So, and because of that, we have a points from which one this branch is creating. And in the big projects, we really can see like this picture with their testing branches. So I want to show it with the LMFire project, for example. So I change screen again. Where is it? Maybe we've got many branches here. I don't know, but we can see it. We can check it. Yeah, as you see, we've got 9 branches in the LMFire project, and you can see that we've got these branches. I think that some tests for testing, for checking some issues, and etc. And of course, we've got a master branch that used for production version. And in word skills, in our skill, we also assessed is competitor have knowledge how to create branch, how to change branches, how merge information, and etc. And it's important to know how to use them. So for now, we prepared some interesting information for optimization and for another things. And I want to introduce Sergey, our colleague. He is our expert who works with all regions in Russia, who helped to organize competitions in Russia. And he also has a great experience in mobile development and in another IT things. And this all that he will show, I think will be interesting for creating competitions in your country for faster creating and etc. And I will help Sergey with translating everything that he shows. It's first time for me for translating people in Zoom sessions. So I hope that everything will be okay and you will get information normally and understandable. And so, Sergey, you're welcome. Hello, we are ready to see magic from you.
Здравствуйте, коллеги.
Hello, everyone.
Значит, так, Эмиль, ты мне дашь право на...
Yeah. Now you can show.
У нас в России в течение года проводится очень большое количество чемпионатов.
In Russia, we've got many competitions during the year because we have many regions.
В предыдущем году у нас было порядка 20 только региональных чемпионатов и порядка 20 демонстрационных экзаменов по стандартным skills.
For example, in the previous year, we've got about 20 competitions in Russia and about 20 exams for students in Russia. So it's about 40 some competitions by work skills and by our skill.
Соответственно, разворачивать, да, или устанавливать систему контрольной версии для каждого чемпионата было проблематично. Соответственно, приняли такое решение и написали небольшую систему, которая автоматизирует установку, разворачивание вот этих вот сервисов Git.
So, because of that, we've got many competitions, and for every competition, we need to use version control system, and this version control system will be local for security and etc. Sergey, think about the automatic this process, and for that, we created the system for deploying and creating and deploying version control systems very fast.
Все построено на контейнерах, и можно разворачивать любую систему контроля версий. В принципе, у нас мы не привязаны к какой-то там Gitlab, либо Bitbucket, и можем разворачивать любые сервисы по протоколу Git, для протокола Git.
Docker контейнеры, да?
Да, да.
This system is developed with Docker containers, and because of that, we can use any version control systems like GitHub, Gitlab, Bitbucket, and etc. And it helps to run everything in our virtual machines and etc.
Да, то есть у нас не работает много, да, виртуальных машин, у нас работает только контейнеры, то есть только программное окружение, связанное с конкретной системой контроля версий. И в течение чемпионата каждая сессия у нас клонируется отдельно, чтобы эксперты работали с точной копией.
So because we use Docker containers, we don't create virtual machine for every session or for every competition, and it helps us to make copies of containers after each session in competition, and experts will work just with this copy, and it helps to be objective while expert downloads competitors' results.
Вот на экране я представил, соответственно, пример, да, где так, Gitlab сейчас, где в одну команду, в принципе, можно развернуть, вот эта команда, развернуть систему контроля версий Gitlab.
For example, in screen you can see official documentation from Docker, and you can see the command that can help you to run GitLab server on container with just one command, and it's very fast and easy.
Так как помимо команды установки, да, самого контейнера, нам еще требуется в течение чемпионата клонирования, да, то есть это еще дополнительный ряд команд, чтобы их вот визуализировать и упростить для разного рода главных экспертов, написали вот систему. Сейчас я покажу, как она работает.
By the way, there are no one command for our system for more useful interface, for many additional things, for preparing, adding information to our containers. Of course, we use many additional scripts, and this system works with the scripts. And now Sergey will show you how it works.
Соответственно, создаем чемпионат, в котором нужно указать короткое имя, по которому будет доступен Git сервер.
So here we can see the form for creating competition. Here we can add a short name, which we used for accessing to our Git server.
Также можно указать количество участников, и потом при нажатии на одну кнопочку эти участники создадутся на Git сервисе, и опять же это уберет ручной труд.
Here we can add a count of competitors. It's very important because while you're creating a version control system, you need to add user for every competitor with unique password, with unique name, and etc. But here we just write the count, and system will create automatically these competitors.
Также можно указать дату, это я делал для себя, дату начала и дату окончания, чтобы контейнеры, которые используются в рамках чемпионата, автоматически выключались и не требовали дополнительных ресурсов на сервере.
So because we've got many competitions in one time, so the dates are very useful, because if system sees that competition is over, container will be closed and memories will be free, and it's very good for optimizing systems, memory, and etc.
Значит, когда мы создали чемпионат, можно создать контейнер гита. Сейчас в данном случае у меня создается по умолчанию сервис Bitbucket.
And so we see that competitions created, and now Sergey created Git container. And for example, for now, there are Bitbucket Git system created as default.
Значит, есть кнопки ссылка на Git, по которой подключаются участники, в принципе, из любой точки мира, и кнопки управления для администратора, главного эксперта.
Сейчас же тоже могут подключиться, работает же, да? Сейчас же работает ссылка.
Запустится, да.
So you can see URL for our container. It's not start yet, but it's open for remote connecting, for example, for you after this container will start. So you can see that with a few seconds, we created new container. So maybe it's loading now. Did you press start? Ты нажал start?
Сейчас, секунду, у меня ресурсы закончатся, сейчас я потушу лишнее.
We've got some troubles with the space for
Я
machines.
для себя, да, мониторинг включил. Bitbucket съедает 2 гигабайта памяти. Один контейнер.
Yeah, we've got issue that in our test server, there are not a lot of memory, and previous machines eats many resources. Now you can see the list of competitions, current competitions, and Sergey turned off some competitions. And now
За 2 недели, даже, да, за 2 недели вот произошло вот сколько? 6 мероприятий, под которые было уже задействована, опробована, соответственно, система.
And for example, as you see, in the previous weeks, we've got already 6 competitions in which we use the system for running Git, for creating users, and etc. So now we wait for running.
Just a moment.
Sergey trying to empty resources. So just wait. You can see that before we've got just 100 megabytes of free memory, and now we closed some competitions, and now we've got 7 gigabytes of memory, and I hope that system, oh, you can see it's starting, it works, magic works. So just as you see in our Docker container, we run Bitbucket version control system, and now it's starting first time because it's new container, and we just need to wait while he setting up.
В России мы используем разные системы контроля версий по одной простой причине, что у нас есть, в принципе, WSA, это организация работы, и WSS связана с работой с программным обеспечением. Соответственно, участники должны знать, уметь работать, в принципе, со всеми системами, ну, которые популярны, да, так как они встречаться могут у работодателя.
Yeah, in Russia, we use many types of version control services like Bitbucket, Gitlab, GitHub, and etc. Because in our technical description, we've got WSA sections where we check if competitor can work with many services, can he organize his work and etc. And because of that, it's important that competitor can use every services because they are based on one technology, on Git, and competitor can know how to use Git in any services. And because of that, often in competitions, we change this version control system. For example, today it will be Bitbucket, in next competition it will be Gitlab, and etc. And we use local repositories because it's easy to control, because no one can enter to this repository from remote, yeah, and it's secure for competition because we need to check that competitor done his work himself.
Соответственно, развернулся у нас контейнер с Bitbucket, но он пока что пустой, в нем нету пользователей, вот можно убедиться.
We can see that Bitbucket container works and it's accessed from a remote from your countries, for example. And we can see that no users for competitors for now. And now Sergey will show you.
И в зависимости от того, сколько мы указали пользователей, да, мы можем зайти в настройки и просто создать пользователей. По умолчанию создаться по количеству указанных компетиторов с параметрами по умолчанию. Дальше участники самостоятельно могут изменить эти параметры и участвовать там в чемпионате.
As you see, because we write it 12 competitors for our competition. After that, Sergey pressed the button for create users. Users was created with default data. Можешь показать экран с прошлой? With default data, and you see in the green file that competitors created with a user and number after a username and with the default password. And of course, for security, competitors after the first login in a Bitbucket can change their password and no one can enter to their account. And as you've seen in a Bitbucket, now we have these users.
Так как сервис, да, не привязан к какой-то локации и, ну, в принципе, доступен из любой точки мира, иногда требуется его заблокировать на конкретное место проведения чемпионата, то есть в конкретном, ну, локации под конкретный IP-адрес. Можно нажать на лог, и сервис будет доступен только с IP-адресов вот этого.
Because of that, it's really important to make our system security from the remote trying, accessing, and etc. We can lock our Bitbucket, for example, yes, our container. We can lock it and can give access only from one IP address. For example, if in a college or on a competition venue, we've got the white IP address, we can write it here and no one from another places can access to our system. So it's very safe.
Ну и дальше кнопка «Остановить контейнер», если требуется, да, вручную. Также есть кнопочка «Клонировать». Значит, клонируются полностью пользовательские данные и генерируется новый контейнер. Почему? Потому что эксперты не должны работать с теми же материалами, с которыми в текущий, да, момент работают участники.
As you see, we've got, of course, a stop button for stopping our container. And the next one is the main feature is a clone, which helps to make a copy of this container for providing it for experts, because experts can't use current competitors' current competitor container. Because, for example, if I'm a bad expert, I can make some changes in the source code, or I can delete a repository of competitor. So it's very important to save all data. And because of that, we make a clone of this machine, of this container, and competitors works with just copy, and they want to do everything with it, delete, update, and etc. And if we need again, we can make additional one copy for restoring some data. So it's very safe and interesting.
И что хорошо с контейнерами, копируются именно пользовательские данные, ну, участников, а не система целиком операционная, да, в том числе, и объемы хранения, они на порядок ниже.
And while system is cloning, we don't clone every container with every files with Bitbucket and etc. We just clone user data and repositories. So with this we can save many memory in our hard disk drive, and it's very fast because we don't need clone all files from our container.
Ну и также, если потребуется, можно удалить ненужный контейнер соответственно, также это пока доступно. Вот. Но система в процессе, да, и меньше месяца, и она уже показала себя с хорошей стороны.
Of course, we can delete cloning, delete copy, sorry, and the system in development now, for now, and the system works about 1 month, but as you see, we've got many experience already in 6 competition, and in the next competitions, of course, we will use this one. And I hope that in our competition that will be in August with you all, we use this system too.
Второе направление, да, по автоматизации – это автоматическая проверка того, что загрузил участник. Мы сейчас на уровне, наверное, 5% находимся. Это полностью проверка модуля, связанного с организацией работы. Вот. Я подготовил пример. Так, меня запущу.
Так, да, я скажу. The second interesting part of Sergey's demonstration is instruments for automatic assessment of competitors' results. And of course, it's very hard work. And for now, we only can test only 5% of our assessment criteria for now. But we work on it, and we want to assess more and more persons for it. And Sergey prepared example, and he will show.
Да. У меня есть 2 тестовых проекта для Android. Сейчас у меня откроется. Там проект по умолчанию и проект для iOS.
We've got 3 projects, 2 for Android and 1 for iOS, for example.
Значит, как система CI используется Jenkins.
For creating continuous integration, we use Jenkins. It's free software and very useful.
Я создал 2 итема для, соответственно, проекта для Android и для iOS.
We created 3 items for iOS and Android projects in Jenkins.
Да, можно посмотреть, что в принципе я пробовал, тестировал запуск сборки. Пробовал, тестировал. Значит, один проект у меня собирается, второй проект у меня, в принципе, тоже собирается. И так мы можем указывать любые проекты участников.
So, first of all, I think I need to say that Jenkins, it's a service which helps to build the source code applications, so you can compile and build these applications and do some interesting things with built application. So we don't need to use a real computer like a competitor, press run and etc. Jenkins can run it and move to automatic system things. And for example, as Sergey showed, we've got some logs that that these projects are built successful. For example, in the bottom of screen, you can see the finished success. So everything is okay, and these projects are built normally.
В процессе, да, в задании есть модуль тестирования, и если его красиво, да, написать задание, то, в принципе, можно проверять больше процент выполнения конкурсного задания в автоматическом режиме.
As you know, in our technical description, in our skill, we've got a section about the testing It's about unit testing, about UI testing, and etc. And if we write test project description with some requirements of naming, of some methods, and etc., we can run these tests automatically with Jenkins, for example. We don't need to use experts for pressing buttons, for finding tests, etc. So everything can be assessed automatically and objectively.
Визуально это можно посмотреть. Я создал пример пайплайна для, соответственно, проверки ветки на соответствие конкурсному заданию и сборки проекта в этой ветке.
For example, you can see the pipeline here. Sergey created two main aspects for checking. For example, you can see check master. It checks is competitor uploaded his results to master branch, or you can see the next one, check session 2, check session 3, and etc. It's about that competitor created or not branches for each session. And you can see the check build master, check build session 2, and etc. It checks is competitor's project are built successful. For example, if competitor makes some errors in his source code, for example, don't putting some characters, or there are some problems with the packages. So we will see it here, and it automatically tests, and we can see objective result here for every aspect. And then we can move all these results to our assessment criteria, for example.
И также по каждому действию, да, можно посмотреть логи, как, ну, процесс сборки и что вообще происходило, отследить. В случае, если будут какие-то апелляции, можно будет показать и рассмотреть каждый аспект автоматически.
Yeah. You can see that, of course, for every these automatic functions, we've got logs. We can see the process that was run for building applications, for example. And if experts have some questions about is system work normally, is competitor's project fault really or not, experts can try to read logs and see that system is showing truth. Of course, if experts will have questions again, they can try to run application manually and check is system saying truth or not. But system every time says truth. It's system, it's computer.
Также, в принципе, можно настроить некоторый интерактив сборки и отображение, да, информации о том, как собралось. У меня стоят уведомления в Slack-канал.
And because for more useful, for more easy using the system, we can create notifications to some services. For example, Sergey created Slack notifications for all these processes, for building, for errors, and etc. And now he wants to show how these notifications works. But there are some problems with internet connection, I guess.
Zoom работает стабильно.
Да. Не обновляет. Попробуй с главной страницы перейти. Опять. So Slack, it's not working normally, but our system works. Just a minute. So while we are solving issues. I want to tell that in Russia, for many skills, we're trying organize automatic test process, because as I told before, in Russia, we've got many competitions in 1 year, for example, 40 and more. And because of that, it's very important to save time of experts. If you had experience in real competitions, in world skills competitions, maybe you know that sometimes experts need to stay in a venue for assessed competitors' works during the 12 p.m., maybe for more time, and it's a real problem. And with these systems, with automatic tests, we can save this time. We can make our competitions more objective, because there are no experts that trying to check is this feature works or not. We've got automatic system which testing everything as one.
Давайте покажу, как это работает. Запускаем. Вот.
А ты же Slack не запустил.
Зачем? У меня уже все настроено. Я запустил сборку.
Okay.
Сейчас. Вот у меня происходит сборка.
You can see that, for example, Sergey now run building applications for check everything, every this aspect. You can see that building is running. So you can see that.
Пришло уведомление, что у меня сейчас стоит на проверке, что есть ветка. Вот branch master is found.
Ты сейчас не сможешь, да, показать для Slack открыть все-таки?
А вот Slack я открыл.
Да. Ну, пока нет.
Сейчас вижу. Desktop. Видно?
Yeah, you can see now. You can see Slack application, and now we can see the notification from a WSA channel that that branch master is found on competitor. So we can add these notifications for every aspect, for example, and collect them in one channel for better using, for easily using by experts, for example.
Соответственно, можно настроить название пайплайнов, сделать по номерам участников, например, и поставить триггер на сборку по коммиту участника на Git-сервер.
As example, you can see names of these pipelines, like a test Android, test iOS, but we can, of course, we can use the names like a competitor's name or competitor number, like a user 1, user 2, and user 3, and etc. And we can add triggers that helps to make this build and checking aspects after competitor pushed his results to our Bitbucket, for example, server. So we don't need to run build manually like Sergey shown before. It can be run automatically, and every notification will be sent, for example, to Slack. And experts need just open Slack, check is everything okay or not, and put mark to assessment criteria lists.
Ну, в целом у меня все. Если есть вопросы, можете сейчас задавать, либо в чате можно, в принципе, на английском.
That was all about our new automatic systems. If you have questions, you can ask Sergey here in a chat, also in English too. And maybe you have questions. We can wait a few seconds. Okay. I guess that another questions can be asked in our Telegram chat, and of course we will answer everything. So thank you very much, Sergey. It was very interesting and helpful. I think that many countries interested in save time for experts, and if you have some ideas, we have a question, Sergey. Wait. So yeah, question from Korea, I think. We'll wait. Okay, while we're waiting, question. Yeah. What plugin used in Jenkins? Какой плагин в Jenkins используется?
Смотри, для чего?
About for what plugin you ask? It's about building, or what about you?
Для сборки проекта я не использовал ни одного плагина.
For assessment. Вот чтобы вот это чекать сессии и так далее, наверное.
Соответственно, у меня написана моя небольшая программка. Там, пока что не готов показать. Вот. Соответственно, это скрипты, которые выполняются по очереди, проверяют на название сессии и смотрят, какие ветки созданы в Git. То есть это именно там, программный код, никаких плагинов. Плагин используется один для уведомления в Slack. Больше ни одного плагина не используется.
Okay, so answer about plugins. For Jenkins used just one plugin for Slack for notifications. Another magic created by scripts that Sergey created. So it's just a script that we've got in our Jenkins. Of course, we can't show them all because that work Sergey, but is everything like checking sessions, checking building, and etc. created by own scripts, no plugins. But of course, if we need, we add something for that.
Для создания пайплайна там есть шаблоны. Вот, надо нажать New Item, дать название.
For creating pipeline. Yeah, we can add check pipeline.
И если вниз пролистать, то есть pipeline syntaxes.
And here we can see pipeline syntax.
Соответственно, какие-то вещи здесь вот заложены как шаблоны. Их можно использовать, в принципе, они хорошо описаны, можно посмотреть документацию.
Yeah, and here we can use default templates of some pipeline syntaxes, and for example, for environments, variables, and etc. And we can create scripts here, and we've got in our internet many examples of them. And of course, with this, you can create this automatic assessment. I hope that we answered your question, and we wait another your question. And we're very glad that we've got questions about system. It's cool.
Если у наших коллег там есть вот дополнительный, да, там вопрос, как это реализовано, я, в принципе, в личном сообщении готов там пообщаться, да, как все реализовано. Но, наверное, в августе, когда я допишу полностью хотя бы систему, чтобы она, более-менее много покрывала аспектов оценки задания конкурсного.
Sergey told that if you have questions about how the system works, how to create the system, he can answer you in direct messages, of course. And we hope that in end of summer, we've got the like a production version of this all, and it will works. So, and we got another question. Is it provided to how to compose the script of pipeline? Provided by who? You want that we will show you how to create script, or what you want?
Они могут писать прямо здесь, вот скрипт, прямо раскрывать там стейджи и так далее, а могут, так удобнее на самом деле, загрузить на Git Jenkins файл и, соответственно, писать в другой программе, которая, например, отслеживает скобки. В веб-версии это неудобно.
So about the scripts of pipeline, you can see that here we can add the script here. Yeah, you can see the file for this, but it's not useful because we don't have a syntax highlight and etc. So for more productivity, we can use external code editor, and for that we can check pipeline file, or how is it names? Pipeline script from SCM, and here we can upload file with our script that we created in a normal program.
Можешь перевести вопрос, вот последний?
So the last question. Были ли какие-то проблемы при использовании этой системы в рамках оценивания на чемпионатах?
Первый раз я попробовал в декабре, соответственно, прошлого года был финал межвузовского чемпионата.
The first time of using this system, it was in December with competition for students from universities.
В целом проблем не возникло. Единственное, что мы это запустили в тестовом режиме, и все-таки эксперты еще вручную проверяли сборку и ветки. То есть параллельно.
And the first time there are no issues, but because it was the first time of checking, of trying to run this solution, of course, it was like in a test mode, and experts checked everything manually and synchronously use the system to check it synchronously again, and for checking working the system and etc. And in another competitions, других не было.
Так, основная, да, вот первая проблема, с которой вот, может быть, я, скорее всего, столкнусь, это то, что у проектов на Swift, да, на iOS, по умолчанию можно не включать тесты. И, соответственно, их как-то нужно будет прописывать как таргеты в сборку. Вот это, наверное, такая вот проблема. У Android тесты создаются по умолчанию, их нельзя отключить вроде.
The main issue that we can have, it's projects on Swift for iOS. For example, while you're creating iOS project, you can select is include test project to our solution or not. And if competitor don't check this checkbox for creating test target, it will not be connected for a project. And if competitor after it included the test project for his solution and uploaded to version control, there can be some problems with the Jenkins. Maybe it will be problems with finding project with tests that created competitor. And here maybe we need to add some additional scripts for finding these targets and etc. With Android platforms, there are no such issues, because in Android Android Studio creates unit tests and UI tests target and classes automatically on start. So the main issue. Других проблем нет?
Нету. В принципе, система даже позволяет проверять синтаксис, да, как написано, красиво, некрасиво, через всякие SwiftLint и так, ну, подобные системы.
There are no any issues yet, because I think that we will find many additional issues in the future because we are test the system is in more and more competitions. And for example, this system can assess the syntax of competitors' code, for example, for checking naming, spaces, break lines, and etc. Because we can use some SwiftLink and etc. plugins, which can help to test many things. The first of all, as I told, is naming. Maybe you know many competitors and many developers add bad names for user controls like button 1, button 3, button 999, and etc. And it's very bad. And in Russia, for example, we also got aspects in assessment criteria for checking naming. And this naming we can also check with the Jenkins without experts, for example, and it's very cool. And in the near future, we will add this feature in our testing machine.
В целом, если у коллеги есть какие-то, ну, такие детальные вопросы, можно записать из чата мой личный контакт и просто писать, ну, личными сообщениями, не в общую группу.
Давай я в группу просто тебя с сделаю с собачкой. Sergey told that if you have technical questions, not now, maybe later, you also can write directly to Sergey and for personal messages. I write his username on Telegram on our chat. So if you need, you can ask him. So maybe another questions. Okay. So I think if you will have another questions, you easily can ask us in our Telegram channel or in next days, of course. And so Sergey, give me my screen. Thank you. Thank you, Sergey. It was very interesting. So for today, I think that's all. That's all information that we prepared for you. I hope that again it was interesting and helpful, and you've got now new experience about our skill, about coding with cats, like it was in the start of today's meeting. And if you've got another questions, you can ask them or can ask in the chat. And of course, for tomorrow, we prepared additional information for you. And I hope that every you will be with us tomorrow at same time and at same place. So, any questions? Again, I had problems with Zoom. So I guess that there are no questions. Okay. Thank you for everyone that you be with us. So see you all tomorrow and bye-bye.